are you? You look fine.
Good, thanks for asking.
A few days ago, it was this anniversary of the Greek Cup final you had with Aris, and that was the last title that Aris won. Can you recall moments from then, your performance and all the things that you shared with your teammates?
I recall a lot of moments with my teammates and Team Aris in that season, and winning the Greek Cup. It was one of my fonder times I've had in my basketball career.
You arrived in Thessaloniki playing for Aris in the December of 2003, if I recall. How come? How did this happen? Do you remember? Did you remember what you thought or what you felt when they first told you that you had the opportunity to play in Thessaloniki?
No, I don't remember exactly what I was feeling or thinking, but I did know that I was ready to travel. And Greece was my first place, my first stop, traveling abroad, playing basketball overseas, other than playing in the NBA. And I loved it. It was a great time. I had great memories, and I want to visit again. Can't wait.
Played in Thessaloniki after 1 year of professional basketball in the NBA, but you didn't seem frustrated or disappointed about the fact that you had to leave the league at that time. You were very thirsty, very hungry for basketball, yes?
I was young, and very, like you said, hungry to play basketball. And I had my experience playing in the NBA, and although I wasn't done playing in the NBA, I still went to experience playing basketball in other countries. And, I heard Greece was a great place to play. The basketball was very competitive, and I would actually enjoy competing there.
Was it indeed a really good place to play basketball?
Oh, yeah. Definitely was. Definitely was.
And what about life in Thessaloniki and Greece? Was it a nice place for you to stay and live for the time that you stayed here?
I tell people all the time today, I would love to retire in Greece. I would love to retire in Saloniki or Thessaloniki. I can't wait to get back. I can't wait to visit. The life there for me was so peaceful, and it was beautiful. The people there were beautiful. The food was good. The countryside was amazing, great views. And again, the basketball was great. I loved competing against those guys. It was a competitive matchup every night, whether we played, Olympiacos or PAOK or Ηρακλής. It was very competitive, and it was fun to play.
Do you have still connection with some of your teammates or your coach back then?
I still speak sometimes to Charles Barton, our head coach, but the players, not so much.
Can you remember some of them, some names?
Of course, I remember the Americans, Ryan Stack and Toby Bailey. I remember faces better than names.
I see you wear a yellow shirt tonight, but I can see that the yellow era of your career, both in Aris and Lakers, were the best moments of your career, was the best basketball time. Do you agree?
I would agree. Playing for the Lakers, of course, was the highlight of my career. Anybody would agree to that. But for me personally, I would say the first opportunity I had to actually play basketball and enjoy it was in Greece when I played for Aris, and it was an amazing opportunity. I have very fond memories of my time, and like I said, I wish when I'm done playing basketball and refereeing basketball, I definitely want to move back to Thessaloniki and retire there and grow old and just enjoy life.
We're waiting for you, man. That would be great. Do you remember things about the atmosphere and the home court of Aris? It's a special home court, not only in Greece, but in Europe.
How can I forget the atmosphere? I've experienced nothing like it before. To this day, I played, like everybody knows, I played in the NBA and played for 6-7 teams in the NBA. Played in China, Russia, Croatia, Lebanon, Dominican Republic, Tunisia, Mongolia. I played several places, and the atmosphere in Greece is one of a kind. The atmosphere for the fans that support Aris, one of a kind. You know, from the standing room only to the chants and the music and the singing and the confetti that they throw out at the start of each game. And
the confetti is legendary still now.
Yes, yes, I loved it. I haven't experienced anything like it.
I see this Brooklyn cap that you're wearing, and you're a boy of the East Coast, but you found your better basketball days in the West Coast.
Yes.
Is it a so big deal for you in the United States? Because for us it's one country, but for you I know it's a very, very big distance from the East Coast to the West Coast as a mentality also.
Yes, there's a very big difference between East Coast, America and West Coast America. And like you said, you see me, I'm wearing a Brooklyn, New York City cap, but I found a home out in LA, playing for the Lakers. So it was very different. Lifestyle was different, weather is different, the way of life is different. But no matter where you go, basketball is basketball, same rules, same goals, and that's to win basketball games and win championships. So playing for the Lakers was, I wouldn't say a dream come true, but playing in the NBA, the Lakers is the team you want to play for. They're the most historic franchise in NBA history. The most decorated team in franchise in NBA history. I had the opportunity of playing for Phil Jackson, who's the most decorated coach in NBA history. And then I also had a chance to play in a backcourt with Kobe Bryant, who might be, the top 2, 3, 4, 5, players in NBA history. So, it was a wonderful opportunity, and I had fun.
Could you tell us a few things about Phil Jackson as a coach and your connection? Because he's a man thinking out of the box for all his career. He had a very strong connection, not only inside the court, but also outside with his players. And I think it's a big decoration for you that he trusted you from the very first time that he had the chance to trust you as a player.
Yeah, Phil Jackson to me was definitely the best coach I've ever played for. I played for some legendary coaches. I played for Pat Riley in Miami, played for Larry Brown in Detroit, Mike D'Antoni in Phoenix. I played for, quite a few coaches, but Phil Jackson to me is the best coach I've ever played for. And his method and way of coaching and his style, where he likes to get into players' minds, he brings the best he gets the best out of his players, and players, love playing for him. They're comfortable playing for him. They're not, scared, or he doesn't try to overcoach. He allows his players to, play basketball and figure it out. And it was a comfortable environment to play in.
You spoke about scare and fear, and we can say that you were fearless because you were very, very young when we came to Aris, and the whole organization, the whole team was looking at you for scoring, for passing, for as a floor general inside the court. And after that, you went to Lakers, a legendary team, and played as a starter with perfect stats in scoring and passing. What built this character, always being ready to give whatever you had to give in the court?
Well, definitely playing basketball here in New York has built my character as a basketball player, as a professional. Just learning my basic fundamentals from my dad. He taught me how to, do the fundamentals, dribbling in front of me with the right and left, being able to drive right and left. He taught me how to shoot. But then going out into the streets and the playgrounds and the basketball courts, and then playing against older kids and older guys, and playing against guys who were stronger than me and better than me, and having to compete and figure out how I could be better than them definitely shaped and molded me for, the stage that I was, given Thessaloniki, in my role as a leader.
Nick Gallis, the big legend of Aris and the Greek basketball, was raised in Union Hill, New Jersey. And he told me exactly the same, that he built his confidence playing in the playing grounds. He told me, you cannot imagine how much basketball I played there and against who. We have playgrounds in Greece, but we cannot imagine the multicultural of basketball that you have the opportunity to play in the New York playgrounds.
Yeah, it's growing up, that's all we had. It wasn't much video games in my, when I was younger. No, it wasn't. There was no internet. There was no cell phones. There was no social media. There was no distractions. It was less distractions, I should say. No, my form of entertainment was to go outside and play basketball. And if that was my source of entertainment, that was all kids' source of entertainment. So there was a lot of kids always outside playing basketball. And New York City is the city of playgrounds. You go you go 3 blocks in any direction in New York City, and there's a basketball court, and it's filled with hundreds of players. And that's how I grew up, playing in the street, playing at these playgrounds with other kids all day, every day.
Smush, you had a very, very big basketball journey during your career. And as you said earlier, you have traveled to some impossible places to play basketball. How do you feel about this journey? If you can tell us the most maybe inconvenient, difficult place you had to play basketball in.
Been to parts of this earth that I thought I would never go to. But basketball opened doors for me to travel the world, and just to name a few, like I said, I played in China, played in Russia, played in Croatia, played in Lebanon, played in Venezuela, Dominican Republic, played in Mongolia, played in Tunisia and Morocco. And, I definitely have a wealth of life experience, from just living abroad and interacting with a different culture of people, and learning a little of the language and a little of this culture over here and then a little of their culture over there. And I have lived life and I've learned a lot. And some of the places that were difficult, I will say the most challenging place that I've been would be, I'm gonna say Mongolia.
Yep, I thought so.
Mongolia. And just to put it into perspective where, Mongolia might be. So there's Russia and China. And Mongolia is like this big, and they're like holding this superpower from taking their land, and this superpower country from taking their land. And
it's a small pin between two giants.
Exactly. And, basketball there when I went was still fairly new to them. They had just had their league. They started their league, and it was only 7 years old. There were some things that they were, trying to learn as far as how to run a league and, getting good players. But the experience was great. It was cold.
Yeah,
and it was lonely. I mean, Mongolia was one of the loneliest places I've been because I didn't speak their native tongue, and not too many people spoke English. It was very challenging there for me.
You told us earlier about Phil Jackson and some things about him. Of course, I would like to ask you a few things about Kobe Bryant and the experience of working with him as an athlete and as a person.
One thing I will say, practice in the NBA is a lot different than, practice at any other level. And I say that to say that we play an 82-game season. There's not one league that you play in any country that you play 82 games in one season. There's not one league in any country that plays 4 to 5 games a week. In Greece, I remember we played 2 games a week. The weekend, maybe it was Sunday, and then Tuesday or Thursday was like Euro leagues. So NBA was, we played 4 to 5 games a week. So there's not a lot of time to practice during the season. And when we did practice, it wasn't like a 100% go hard practice because we might have, just played a game the night before. We have a game the next day. So we didn't like practice too hard as a team. We might have had like a walkthrough to go, kind of go over plays and sets and defense and, just whatever we were going to do defensively against certain teams. And that's why you hear the saying, I don't know if you heard the saying, players are made in the off season, not during the season.
Yep.
Have you heard that saying before?
Yeah, yes.
Okay,
yes.
so
and it's so right.
Yeah. So we didn't really compete during the season in practice, if you understand. So
yes,
we never in practice got a chance to see Kobe be Kobe that you see in games in practice.
Mm-hmm. Now that he's not around, now we watch videos from Kobe, not only from on-court videos, but speaking, in inspirational talks and things like that. You think that impact of Kobe to the young athletes and the young children is bigger now that we can resume things he said throughout all his career about practice, about the mental preparation he had and things like that.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that people who pass away become they become idolized and more famous in their passing than when they were alive. And that's, I guess, it goes to show that people always think that we have time to communicate with somebody or time with somebody. But his legacy still lives on. The things that he has done, in his career still lives on. And of course, because he was able to achieve so many accolades, the words that he says and his inspirational speaking, whether it's in interviews or, little clips that he has done, people listen because they want to achieve what he's achieved.
Do you watch EuroLeague at all?
No, I don't get a chance to watch EuroLeagues much anymore.
Do you watch NBA?
I watch some NBA, a little bit. A little bit.
Many say that they prefer to watch NCAA than NBA because they enjoy basketball more there.
It's all about perspective. I actually enjoy the NBA game more than the NCAA basketball. So it depends on who you ask.
We all remember, and the Irish fans always remember, not only how good player you were, but also the cool guy you were, a very lovable guy, and they cannot forget it. And I think that this coolness and this character of you showed up on that Detroit court when all this crazy stuff happened, and you were pretty cool, my man, and pretty solid there in the middle of the court, not having to do anything with what happened, what we call Malice in the Palace. We were just watching, and
yes.
maybe trying to understand what the hell's going on at that night.
Let's take a rewind. I was prepared for the Malice in the Palace. You know why I was prepared for the Malice in the Palace? Because I played in Greece.
Okay.
Listen, I've been a part of games where riots have broke out. Remember the Greek Cup game against Olympiacos? They had to kick all the fans out.
The duration of that cup final was not an ordinary duration.
No, listen, I remember literally I was bringing the ball up the court in the championship game against Olympiacos, and a flare went shooting across my head from one side of the arena to the other. And I witnessed fans pulling chairs out of the ground and throwing them at the riot cops, and the riot cops having to calm everybody down. And I've been a part of a real malice. So that Malice in the Palace was nothing. When I saw the chaos going on in Detroit, it just brought me back to my Greek days and that environment and what I had to go to, even playing on the road, playing against other rival teams. Those arenas weren't easy to play in. Those fans were just as unruly as our Aris fans.
Thank God Netflix has not discovered the Greek basketball games at that time.
Maybe they should. They should.
Maybe. You came back also 2 times in Greece later for Ηρακλής basketball and for Mαρούσι basketball, I think, in Athens. Can you recall things from that time, or was it too short time to remember things?
I can honestly say that they weren't nearly as great of a time that I had when I was in Thessaloniki playing with the Addis. I do recall playing for Ηρακλής. I played maybe 4 or 5 games. They asked me to come and save their season from being, demoted to the lower leagues. Of course, I appreciated being back in Greece. I love Greece. Had an opportunity of playing in Athens, but it wasn't nearly as close as playing in Thessaloniki with Team Aris.
And finally, your biggest dream as a person? You can still have dreams about it.
My biggest dream now would be to make it back to the NBA as an NBA basketball official, as a referee.
We wish you to be there, but we also wish you to come back in Greece sometime, and as you said, to grow old here in Thessaloniki, because Thessaloniki loves your love.
Yes, I would love that, and I look forward to the day that I can come back and actually visit, and visit the Aris fans in the new arena, and just be in that environment again.
Just the last question. You said watching the Chicago Bulls made you a fan of them. Will it be offending to ask you this question that many people discuss about the greatest of all times?
That's easy. The greatest of all time is Michael Jordan.
Okay.
Michael Jordan.
Smush, thank you very, very much for this interview. You're such a nice guy, and we hope soon we will have you here with us.
Thank you for having me. Thank you for the interview. And again, I look forward to meeting you in person.
Oh, me too.